Hey guys, what's going on? It's DJ Nastro here, also known as Nastro Gaming on YouTube, of course. And I want to let you know a couple of things before this video goes ahead. This is the SHAREfactory tutorial video, so this is mainly based for those small YouTubers out there who want to get kind of started on recording PS4 gameplay and stuff and getting somewhere on YouTube. Not only that, I just want to say that the fact that this video was probably one of the hardest videos for me to ever make because of the fact that it took so long to be able to record certain sections, as SHAREfactory has a policy where you're not allowed to record in certain areas, so therefore it made it quite difficult for me to record. But nonetheless, sorry if you hear any fan noise or anything, because lately it's been very hot, so my fan is literally working overtime at the minute when it's operating. So it is very hot here in a minute in the UK. So yeah, without further ado guys, this is the video and I hope this is helpful to you. Peace. Well, we'll just start it like we normally do it, like hey viewers of YouTube, how you doing? Anyway, okay, let's calm the fuck down, calm the shit down, okay, so this video is here to show people how to use SHAREfactory, because some people don't fully understand how to use SHAREfactory, so therefore I'm making this video so people can understand how to use SHAREfactory, i.e. Jack and CJ, yeah, fuck that kid. But anyway, getting into the video, first what you want to do is, actually the first thing I want to advise you guys is to have a USB stick and a computer that is able to download audio files, because if you don't have those, then what the fuck are you doing here? Anyway, let's move into the video. So first what you need to do is go to videos, or depending on what you want to do, like you could do an animated GIF if you want, like it's up to you. But first what you want to do is go to your videos section and then go to new project, and then you will probably not get the same range amount of themes as I do, but you know, just pick a theme, whatever theme you want. Let's just go with the PlayStation theme, as it's just the one that makes sense at the minute. So as you can see, we got the PlayStation intro at the top, PlayStation title, and PlayStation outro. For a video that I make, I advise you not to use these because they are boring and very basic. But if you're starting off basic, then go ahead, use them, but in my opinion I wouldn't use them because they're garbage. So what you want to do is just press X on all of these to stop them from being shown in your clip. So at the minute I have 0 clips being viewed in my thing. All these other clips you see is stuff that I've imported that I like to use on my videos to make my videos look a bit more cooler than the boring just the gameplay, make it a little bit more interesting. So you want to go down and find your video. So for example, this is our video right here, our Fortnite video that we did earlier, I'm just using this as an example. This is not actually going to be put up on YouTube because it's probably pretty shit, but yeah, we're going to use this as an example. So you want to press X on that, so that's being imported. As you can see, it says 1 and it has a geared with a tick in it, which means it's being imported into your screen. So and then once we've selected all the assets we want, which for now is just going to be Fortnite, like we don't actually need to add all the other assets yet, we can decide later on when we want to place those in. Has Jack actually gone? Jack? He's actually gone, but don't worry, we'll continue without him because he's useless. Anyway, so we're going to press square to start our project. You can rename your project to whatever you want. I'm not going to rename it because it's pointless, but you can do if you want to. It's up to you. I don't need to. So we're going to press continue, and this is the main page. So I've got to be very careful on what I do here, because otherwise it will stop my recording for no reason if I press the wrong button. So I need to be very careful on what I do. So this is your main like screen area. So I'm just going to basically quickly go through the tools and stuff with you to explain to you how they work and stuff, and how you can make your gameplay look even more cooler than just this at the minute. So for example, let's go to the beginning and let's say this first section before the gameplay we don't actually want. So let's go all the way into the game, like here-ish or something. And let's say all of that in front we don't want, so we can press square and go to split clip. If you press split clip, you can just split the clip right there, and then go back to the first section. As you can see, it's now split into two pieces. You got the first section and you got the second section which you want to start with. You can just then delete the first section just like that, and then you've got the starting off section right here, which is what you want. Shut up, phone. I'm in the middle of things. So anyway, so once you've done that, you're able to split the clip, and then you can do other stuff. Then you can add other stuff, for example, like music, which this is where I say advisory to have your USB stick on you, because you can import from USB. So do that. If you go to the import from USB thing, it will explain to you what you need to have on your USB to be able to put the music and stuff into it. So that's how you do that. So there you go, you got a load of music and stuff. I got loads on here. It's like a never-ending list of music. So yeah, there's a lot of music. Like I have like sound effects as well as just music. So yeah, just for example, let's just say I don't know, action 1. Yeah, that sounds good. So let's go action 1, just for example. So there you go, you've added your action, and then what you can also do is go into the editing features and change the fade in, fade out, if you know what I mean. If you don't know what fade in and fade out is, I'd suggest you go and look on a proper clip tutorial on how to do it. But yeah, fade in, fade out, pretty basic. What I do advise people to do though is to go to the music volume, lower the music volume to around about, I don't know, 25% or something like that, around about 20 or 25%, and also make sure you turn off prioritization, because prioritization is very annoying. So let's for example put it on 25 and turn prioritization off, and then if you play it, wow, lively game this is. As you can see, it's perfect, it's crisp to the actual gameplay, and it's not being too loud over the gameplay, and it's not quietening the gameplay, which is what prioritization will do. Prioritization will quieten the gameplay for you, and it really does suck, so I wouldn't use it. So anyway, for example, that is our music done, so we don't need to do that. Now for example, if you wanted to add some other stuff, for example, let's go a little bit further down the line where our music ends. Let's say, for example, I wanted to add something in between here, like some sort of funny meme or something. What we can do is go here and press split clip and confirm. And then what you can do is then go back and then press the add option to add a new clip, or in fact you can even add a screenshot or something. So if you go to add clip, you can choose any of these. For example, these are all my funny memes and stuff you could use. So censored beep, use that for transitions mainly, nothing else really. You've also got my outro pieces on here. As you can see, outros, my latest outro is that one. This was my old one because I never use it anymore. Let's take the Drake flipping a pancake meme. Let's put that in there, just because, you know why not. So you press X and then you press square, and then boom, there it is. It's in your clip. So for example, you can do that, so all of a sudden it goes straight to that. If you wanted to, you could add a transition. I don't tend to use these transitions because they are not as good. So there you go, you can look through all these transitions from different frames and stuff. Dissolve is probably the best one to go with, so the fade through color maybe. I don't really use these ones really. I more would use the censored beep, for example. So I'll go add and then go censored beep, and then it'll be censored beep, and then Drake flipping a pancake. There, just like that. So it'll be, yeah, it's just a matter of messing around with your clips and seeing what works and what doesn't work. Now for other stuff, for example, you could add green screen stuff. Green screen stuff is going to require you to download it from like the internet somewhere. So for example, I did one a while back which was a test piece. So if I go to add and then go, you can't add clip because it will just place it either before or after the current clip you have. With green screen, you're placing a clip on top of a clip, so it's like another layer on top of the current clip you're currently using. So if you need to go to add track 2, and then what you need to do is go to add or the X button with the red dot, which could also mean record, so you could record an overlay for your voice, for example, or anything else for that matter. So you can press add, so record audio is an option, or you can have add clip. Now if you go to add clip, you can go down and find your, for example, your thingy. This was my test piece. You get the idea. So this was my test piece. This was my first ever green screen I put on here that I used. I don't really use green screens much, so it's just an option there that you could use. So for example, let's put that on.
Look what you just found.
And then as you can see at the minute, it's posting up to appear in the top right corner. What we need to do is change that. So what you need to do is go to square, go to pip layout, and change it to full screen. Once you've changed it to full screen, as you can see, it will take up the entire screen. Next thing you'll need to do, because at the minute you'll probably just get nothing. You'll get nothing at the minute because it's still not actually pasting onto the picture properly. So what you need to do is then press triangle, and then when you press triangle, you'll see the picture, and then also you need to press X, and then you need to select green screen. If you select green screen, it makes the whole background transparent, so it's see-through basically. So then once you've done that, you can go back, and what you should be able to see, what you should be able to see is it will appear on there, but it won't appear in this mode because this mode is your two aside pieces. So you'll need to go completely back into the actual gameplay, and as you can see, as you can see, it just goes straight over like a green screen overlay. So that's now been placed in into my video, but as a second layer instead of a side-by-side layer. So it's on top of the layer you're already using. Kind of confusing to understand green screen, to be honest. I don't really use green screen much, but then again, it can be quite fun to use sometimes. But it's up to you. Other things you can do, you can add overlays. So for example, like text and stuff. You'll probably see in my videos at some point I zoom in at certain parts. So how I do that is I just go to split clip. So I split a clip like this, and then I take a small portion, probably not too much. I go right down to every frame. If you want to do that, you use the D-pad. So use the left and right on the D-pad to get down to each and every little frame. It's up to you if you want to do that, of course. So I'll split the clip like this, for example, like really small, and then what I'll do is get right to the front of this frame, or of this section, like that, and I'll go to edit, and then I'll go to pan and zoom. Once I go to pan and zoom, you can zoom in and move it around to wherever the hell you like. For example, let's go up to the top corner here, I don't know, just for the fun of it. And then once I've done that, that whole little section is now in pan and zoomed to whatever percentage I've put it at, which was to 300%. So it's pan and zoom to that. Then what I can do is go to add overlay, add text. I could even add stickers if I wanted to. Let's go for text for now. So let's go with some medium text like this, and let's just say wow. That'll do. And then let's go to transition. So if you use transition, you can move it about, and then you can place it to wherever you want, and then when you're done, press X. And then once you want to optimize, if you want to optimize, that could differ on how viewable it is and how see-through it is. It's up to you. Color, you can change the color of it. You can sort around with that if you want. Text effect, this is something I don't normally use, but text effect is also kind of cool to use. It depends on what's going on in the background, which depends on what the color of that becomes. So there's quite a few different ones. Like you've got loads of different text effects, but it all depends on the surroundings as well, not just the text itself. So you got align, so you can align it to either be left, center, or right. You should know what that is. Text layer order, so for example, if you're having text over top of text, you could change the layer order. Delete text, of course. Edit text, so change it from wow to something else. Text duration, so at the minute my text duration is shown as being like a second long, so you could actually change that to, I don't know, probably about 1 second, which I think it is at the minute. It's like 1 second, so don't bother changing that at the minute. You got text effects. Well, we've done text effects. We got text animation is something else I like to use, so you can go to beginning animation. So for example, we could fade it in, or wipe it in, or fly in, pop in, random in, whatever. You could have whatever you want on that. For example, let's go with fly in. I wouldn't, for a second, I wouldn't actually bother doing a beginning animation. I'll just do an end animation. So for example, let's just go with fade out. So let's just go back now to here, and then what we can do is play from about here. And there you go, you just get a small little section. You can make it longer than that if you wanted to. There's one thing in this I would not advise to use, and that is trim clip, because trim clip is a bit complicated to understand and to use. It's basically deciding on how long of the gameplay you're using, which is kind of difficult to understand. I don't tend to use it because it just confuses the hell out of my format and stuff, so kind of annoying to use. But yeah, that's something else you could do if you wanted to. It's up to you. I wouldn't really use it. I wouldn't recommend it. Next thing we should look over is probably the time lapse. Over time lapse, for example, we could go like this. Take this section, and then we could go time bend, and we could time bend it to be faster or slower. So we could make it slower, for example. So let's take half or 3/4 of a second. There we go. So that slows it right down. You could also change some other stuff, for example, like if you want it to be step or smooth. Smooth just puts like a nice rounded section on the clip itself. As for step is just standard. But as you can see, it tells you a description there. So step does the current selection will step through the exiting frames in slow motion. Smooth does the current selection will create new frames to produce a smooth slow motion effect, resulting with vary based on content. So for example, if we switched it to smooth, it actually creates more frames for it to work and be a little bit smoother. It's nicer, but you get a black line go around the outside, if you can tell. So if we go to here and then go to here, you can see there's like a black mist around the outside. It's just because they're adding new frames to make it better in slow motion. I've never fully understood slow motion to the best of its abilities, but then again, slow motion is kind of cool, and you can just mess around with it and see what you can make with it, really. Yeah, basically that's kind of it, really. You need to understand. What I do advise most people though is definitely get a USB stick, get the music you want, the videos and stuff you want. By the way, the amount of video time you can have on at the minute, as far as I'm aware of, at the minute is only up to a minute long of recording. So like short memes and stuff like that, you can easily upload on here. It's fine. And music, for that matter, it can go on for probably like an hour or so or something. It just needs to be, just if you check the help option, as you can see up in the top right, there's a help option. If you look under there, it'll tell you about music and stuff like that, and tell you whether it's what's restricted and what can work and stuff like that. So if you use that, it will tell you. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's probably the best video editing software I can use at the minute. Like there is also like Sony Vegas and stuff like that, but that takes a lot of effort. That's all I can say. It takes a very, very long time to get anywhere with Sony Vegas and stuff like that. So you're best to stick with something simple and easy to use. For example, right now, this is probably the best thing you could use for a starting YouTuber. And yeah, it's pretty good. So anyway, that is it. There you go. You're seeing how I do it, how I make these amazing clips. And oh yeah, by the way, if you want to render it, you need to go over here and press the export to gallery, and then once you've done that, go to export to gallery and then press the share button, and you can share it to YouTube and stuff, whether you want to put it. So that's kind of how you do it. And anyway, that's kind of everything. But anyway, thank you, and subscribe and like the video, and check out my merch. Peace.